Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is BestInSlot, and tonight we're doing something we, oddly enough, haven't done in a little while now. We're going to speculate, or at least, hope. We know there's a fairly large patch on the way for Jurassic World Evolution, and whilst it's focused on quality of life fixes above all else, there's definitely going to be some content included. What that'll be, nobody knows quite yet, but I'd like to talk about an aspect of the game I haven't really discussed before, and that's how we could make our dinosaur exhibits themselves a little bit more entertaining. Now, whilst the sort of path areas of evolution are a little dull, the guest areas are a little dull, and could certainly do with sprucing up, the limits on exhibit design make making unique and interesting parks equally difficult. So, what could Frontier add to the game to fix this? Now, at its core, Jurassic World Evolution is a zoo game like any other. There's a bit more focus on management than aesthetics, I would say, but it's still about making a zoo wherein people walk about, eat food, and look at animals. So what we should do is look at real zoos for inspiration. But I'd say the most basic thing we need to spruce up our exhibits is simply more terrain tools. The options in the game are limited, to say the least. We can raise and lower the ground, we can add shallow water, we can add clumps of trees, and we can add some little bush thingies. And really, that's about it. Games that came out 15 years ago gave us much more variety than this, so I really hope this is something on the list to get expanded. I can see why it is as it is, to an extent. These are tropical islands after all, there's not going to be a snowy plain and the like, but there are still tons of options out there. Giving us simply a dirt and sand bush would genuinely make a huge difference to creativity while still fitting the island theme. And then it could be expanded further by letting us place different types of trees, rocks, larger bushes, flower patches, deeper, swampier waters with unique trees to them. I mean, how badly do you want to make a misty swamp for your baryonyx to live in? The lack of environmental variety means every park looks basically identical, and it's probably the top of the list of my wanted content now. But if you go to a zoo, and you should, zoos are cool, they don't just vary the biomes, they vary so much more. The behaviour of the dinosaurs in evolution can be actually pretty entertaining if you don't look at them for too long, but I think one of the main problems people have with the game is the lack of variety in animations and the like. Some toys of some description would go a long way to fixing this problem and the copy-paste exhibits. I'm not suggesting we should have tyres swinging from trees and man-made scratching posts necessarily, as I personally definitely prefer a more natural aesthetic to my park. It wouldn't be bad to have the option, again this is something that modern zoos do have. But animals in nature keep themselves entertained in so many ways, whereas our dinosaurs kind of just exist. They must be hella bored, honestly. Mud pits, natural scratching posts, like big spiny shrubby things, rounder rocks that can be rolled or thrown around. If it sounds cartoonish at all, it's really not. Animals engage in play constantly, and even if we look at modern birds, i.e. modern dinosaurs like ravens for example, they will literally roll in the snow like a human does in order to stay entertained. And yes, like humans do. If you don't, that's silly. I think if I was a Spinosaurus, for example, a big chubby Spinosaurus, just like in real life, I'm trying to kill off a Sunday evening, I'm a little bit bored, and I saw a mud pit, I would be all up in its business. Let's get those into the game. Let's get some interesting things for our dinosaurs to do. The basic fencing and viewing of these exhibits being improved will also go a long way to making the dinosaurs and the exhibits more interesting. One thing modern zoos do is mix up how you view these exhibits on a pretty constant basis. You'll walk into a zoo and you'll walk over a bridge that takes you over the top of the animals. Sometimes you'll view them through a glass wall, sometimes a steel fence. Some will construct tunnels that allow the animals to move between two parts of the same exhibit and let you view them as they do that. We've even seen the Jurassic Park franchise mess around with these exact same ideas itself, such as in the Monstrous tank or the T-Rex Kingdom. The original Jurassic Park was a vehicle tour that had you looking through metal fences, but the franchise has moved on since then and is actually one of the better things Jurassic World does in my opinion. And if Jurassic World Evolution wants to be a modern Jurassic World game, it has to look at alternate ways for our guests to experience our dinosaurs. I know we have the towers and stuff, but we need more. Similarly, being able to build actual walls other than the bland concrete would give us some much needed creative control. If I want to put my herbivores, for example, in a half-walled exhibit, there's no need for those walls to be military grade, boring concrete. You feel me? You feel me. As a little side note, if our guests are eventually going to get decorations as we're hoping, things to make the park a little bit more interesting, signs and benches and the like, then our dinosaurs shouldn't be neglected either. Again, we don't necessarily need to go down the man-made route. You could have large broken logs that smaller dinosaurs can climb, or hell, just make them avoid it altogether. Waterfalls and tar pits and cracks in the earth, and then if you do want to include more aesthetic choices, man-made ones, we could have like totemic statues in the tree lines, dinosaur housing, torches, ruined vehicles, things that would fit the dangerous tropic island idea that evolution tries to push. If you go to a modern zoo, they do tend to put in decorations and things that kind of push this theme, and I think it's something that evolution is sorely lacking. Finally though, the dinosaur-to-dinosaur interaction actually really needs improving if our exhibits are ever going to become interesting. It's all well and good filling them with all this stuff, but if the dinosaurs don't do anything, then it's just dinosaurs not doing anything in a pretty exhibit. At the moment, the dinosaurs, for one, will literally walk through each other, which is, in my opinion, verging on unforgivable in a game made in 2018, to be honest. But more than that, they simply don't interact. There's the weird little social triangles they make, but there's really nothing else. Where are the Pachycephalosaur dominance displays, for example? We saw those in a preview image, in a preview video for the game, and yet they never made it into the game. Where's the sleeping, the courting displays, the play fighting, the playing in general, the grooming? Dinosaurs basically eat, hunt, social display, die. That's it. I accept that with such a wide range of dinosaurs that such behaviours aren't exactly easy to implement, but as the stars of the game, they really should be more interesting than they are. The dinosaurs are beautiful to look at, the models are fantastic, the animations are fantastic, but there's just no variety in their behaviours, and it is an absolute key point to making the exhibits themselves more interesting to observe and look at. Anyways, there's a few ideas there about how Frontier may make our dinosaur exhibits more exciting. I'd be surprised if none of this ever makes it into the game, but hey, I am always an optimist. I don't think we'll see anything of this sort in the next patch, but since the game is supposedly going to be supported at least until the release of the next Jurassic World film, there's plenty of time for some of these features to be developed. Now, some people do accuse me in the comments of these videos of reaching a little bit too far, being a little bit too optimistic, asking for too much. But I have to stress that basically all of these features are things that have been found in simpler, much older games than Jurassic World Evolution for decades now. And really a lot of this is the basics of what I think we should be expecting from a modern big budget zoo game. It's not top priority. The next patch is fixing a lot of the basics of the game, and hey, I still love Jurassic World Evolution, I really do, but I just want to see it get better, and I will make stupid YouTube videos if that helps at all. We'll have to see if Frontier go in this direction at all, but I'm personally excited to see the future of the game regardless, and I cannot wait for that next big patch to finally hit. Is there anything I missed in this video though? Let me know down below. If so, let me know what you'd like to see in the comments down below, and I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers, much love, as always. Bye-bye. Quick little shout out at the end. This video and others like it would not be possible at all without the support of you guys watching me at home, and also everyone on this Patreon page right here who supported me in the last month. If you want to help out as well, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. Every little really helps. Cheers.